Hey everybody, it's Chris Angel coming at you for Connect, Share, Prosper, here with Chaz Wilson, president of Master Networks Incorporated. Chaz, prospecting versus marketing today.
I love the official title. Like it's...
Yeah, I'll keep playing with it. We'll see what else we can come up with. But
yeah, it's funny because no one around here ever worries about that title. Like, so I love it on the podcast. We'll be official. So, Chris, I want to talk today about something that I feel is, first of all, I'm getting a ton of feedback about this is what people are stuck with. And if in my book 5+1, I talk about prospecting versus marketing under the lead generation piece, right? We're all in the same business. We got to generate leads.
Yep.
But what people struggle with is what activities to do to generate leads. And unfortunately, as I've talked to some people lately, I think if I were to rewrite it, I would probably do it a little differently in that section of the book, because I think people misunderstand the marketing versus prospecting piece. So prospecting, of course, is, I think it's on page 37. Hang on, I'll grab it. I think it's on page 37 where I talk about this in 5+1. So 39, I'm sorry. So page 39, if people have 5+1, if not, you can get it. But where I talk about prospecting versus marketing, and the fact is, anytime I start a new company, of course, I want to be more prospecting focused because it's typically less cost. I just have to spend more time doing it, right?
Yep.
So then it's like, well, where does marketing come into the play, and when can I do that? The reality is nowadays there's marketing that can cost, and there's marketing that's free. You know, in the days before, we had to look at the four major television markets of, you know, NBC, ABC, CBS, and Fox,
right,
and go, hey, I want to get in front of people. But now with social media, you've got the big four with Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube.
Yeah.
And you want to get in front of those, and there's no cost. I mean, you can pay. There's ways to get in front of more people. But so I think the difference is people say, well, I'm just going to be prospecting focused. I think the risk in that of just being prospecting focused is that it's all outbound, and you want to get some inbound leads of lead generation. And that's where the marketing is. That's why I do, you know, and I would encourage every one of my listeners to reach out to you and do a podcast like this, because it puts out there in the space my marketing message.
Right.
And then we always do at the end, if anyone's listened to this episode, these episodes, we talk about driving them to Master Networks.
Right.
To a website that can then capture a lead.
Right.
Generate a lead.
Right.
And then pick up the phone and call them. So I think sometimes that gets missed, Chris.
I think content. So, I mean, what we're talking about is content marketing. When you create content, there's something about marketing I love, which is it's leverageable. You can only do so many face-to-faces in a week, only, and there's a place for that. Go back to Michael Mayer's thing, like you go up the influential zone and you're getting into interactions with people offline, but down in the information zone, you're really getting to a place where you can reach more people with your message, and you just can't do that through prospecting.
Well, for sure. And so the hard part is, I think what holds people back is what to do, where to do it, what's my message.
Yeah.
And so here's what I've been helping with some of these groups with is this. So again, contact somebody like you. It's great, right? There's all these shameless plugs I'm giving you, but I love it.
Thank you. Yes, I'll take it.
Yes. So look, contact Chris, because this is why I did the podcast with you, right? In this video podcast is because, and I have a team of people here, but you make it so easy. And there are systems and platforms that make it easier to do this. And so I can reach out to you. We can record these and then they get posted. And so that's how I can do it. What I'm going to say, I think people overthink. So, in one of my group coaching calls this morning, we talked about this, and someone's like, well, do I brand me or my product?
Right.
And so let me just touch on that for a second, because I think that holds people up. Several people raise their hand. Yeah, that holds me up. Who am I branding? So the question, I think, is flawed. Why does it have to be one or the other?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you brand you and your product? See, I used an example of like a stool. If I'm just marketing my product in my marketing, content marketing, that's just one leg of the stool. If I market me, I've got both legs there. Let's say I ever have to change a company, change a product, whatever, I still have a following and a network through my marketing because I've been branding me.
Yeah, it's really good.
Right. So don't let that stop you. And then the last tip on that from a content marketing strategy there is content and documentation. I think you can do both. You can create content that you can share like this, And then like my team's creating a little video, what do they call it, vlog, right? Or it's a video log of what we did yesterday and the day before and so forth. And I can put that out. I can just document what I'm doing. I don't have to worry about it being so, you know.
Yep. I think part of the challenge in that is that, and I spoke on this yesterday too. It was like Women's Council of Realtors, where the question I asked was, what's your biggest challenge or frustration with marketing? And it was similar to the list you gave me, right? It was like, where do I start? What do I say? How do I create time for it? There were all these things. And I think in the middle of all the chaos and confusion, frustration, we just don't take action at all. Right. And what I said to them was one of the places to start to look for your inspiration of what to say is just, what is life teaching you? I think sometimes we're trying to like, feel like we have to be have transformed into some yogi that can like speak wisdom from. The reality is life teaches you something every day. And if you just come from that place, you have something to share. You just have to look.
Right. You don't have to become an influence guru to have an audience. I mean, you present anything that you've got a value. I think people will watch. I mean, look, that's why you look at like Facebook and Instagram stories are so popular and why people watch them, because I'm just documenting my daily activities. And you do a really good job of this, Chris. I've watched you. I'm watching what you're posting is just really things that are going on in your life, lessons you're learning, to your own self-discoveries.
Yeah.
And what fascinates me about that is I watch you because I'm an observer of things and people. What I watch is that's resonating with people because they go, I relate to that. I relate to that. Mm-hmm. And that's the key. By being transparent, people relate.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. And that's the first part of building a relationship is they relate with you.
It actually makes it easier to come up with what to say more often when you don't feel like you have to be perfect. It's so funny. I had this guy, a past client of mine, reached out to me last night, actually. And what he said was, hey, he messaged me on Facebook. He said, I noticed, I've been watching your Facebook stuff lately. I've noticed your tone has changed and you've gotten all into this like powerful place in what you're saying. Like, what was the pivot? Right. And what's interesting is, I've been way more transparent as of late in my posting about where I fail, where I fall down. And it actually occurs to him as powerful.
Yes.
Isn't that funny? Like, it's just,
yeah. I mean,
counterintuitive.
It's hard for us to go there, right? It's hard. Like, I shared a story at Connect. It's actually in one of my books, but I shared it. And my chief operating officer, Corey Bauman, we were in Las Vegas at a convention and we were walking between casinos and I was sharing the story with him. And he stopped me and he's like, we stopped walking. He's like, and I looked back at him and I said, what? He goes, I've never heard you share that story. And it was a failure story. Like it was, a rough place I was at in my life.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, it's like not a place I want to revisit a lot. He's like, no, you need to share that a lot more because I've been there. What you just shared, I've been there. And now that brings me to a different place with you on the journey.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So good, man. I think, so to bring it back to content marketing or marketing versus prospecting, I think in the space of marketing, what we're trying to do is earn attention in our marketing so that we when we reach out for a face-to-face, we're on their map, we're on their radar. Like they're like, oh yeah, you're the guy that I love your posts. Like I would love to have coffee with you. And I think that's a strong place to come from in your marketing. Yeah.
And so, but I'm always careful too, because I think it's often misunderstood. This isn't the long con, right? It's not like I'm not doing this so that someday you'll do something for me.
Right.
Because that may not happen. And then I think people get disappointed when they think that's what networking is. Because, hey, I gave you this referral and you never gave me anything back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so like, was that why? Was there just an attachment to it? That was the whole reason? Makes you wonder, right? So, so here's the point though. We do all this content marketing and advertising, whatever it might be, to drive people to a place where they can raise their hand. And what I described today and I drew out was sending them to your website. So one of the things I've recently done, and I'm sharing with this group here early, they'll probably see it by the time this is published, is I'm launching a brand new website. I'm going to do that for Master Networks as well and for my own brand. Because what I realized is my website, I'm pushing all this content, I'm pushing everything out, put all this effort into the marketplace. And they go to my website, and my website's like a brochure. Mm-hmm. They can scroll through it, they look through it, and they're gone. And what I realized is my website, if I'm putting all this marketing in, I need to capture this. Mm-hmm. So in this poll, when I started talking to our group, think about this. almost all of them said that that was the breakdown. So now when you start thinking about it, it's like, well, maybe I don't have a lead generation problem. Maybe I have a lead capture problem, right? So they were getting a lot of attention through their marketing efforts and their content and their blogs and everything, but then there's no way to capture it.
Yeah.
And so like I'll give you a real life example, Chris. So I changed something on my website and I've launched this page. So with my group coaching program, people could go to my group coaching program and I was trying to convert them all on my website. So they could pay for it, they could sign up and everything. And I was watching my visitor, the traffic go way up, but yet very few were converting. So what we did is we started to take the page where they could purchase off, which was, logical wisdom is like, why would you do that? Then what I put is an application. So they had to fill it out. Now I can pick up what I think is still one of the best marketing tools and prospecting tools is the phone.
Yeah.
I can pick up the phone and call them and have a conversation and answer their questions. And, wouldn't you guess, our conversions went way up. Yeah. Because we changed it that way. So is your website lead capture versus just marketing based, right? There's got to be some lead capture piece to it. That became the breakdown aha for everybody.
I'm just laughing because there's so many places we can go in this conversation for I don't know where you people listening to this right now, where you're at in terms of your skill sets around marketing and content marketing, but there are just a lot. Let me just say this. For a lot of people who are networkers, there is some skill sets to backfill in your marketing arsenal for understanding some very simple concepts like landing pages. How do we capture somebody? How do we add value in a way that isn't like join my mailing list, because that's not valuable? How do we start to find ways to increase the conversion of the efforts we're putting out in the world?
Right. And if you're not willing to learn that, then you need to hire somebody to do that. If you're not willing to do both of those things, you'll probably go out of business. We're in a day and an age where that's changed. And if you're just trying to figure that out in a sense of should I do it, then you're not even asking the right question. Yeah. I mean, you should do it. It's then, do you do it or do you have somebody do it? And I like to still do some of those things with the person because it's everything. If I'm capturing leads, I want to know what we're doing and how we're doing it. So I'm still very involved in that part of my business. Yeah.
Well, it's hard to ask people to do something for you that you don't know what you're like. I've done this before. I've hired stuff out because I'm just like, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to learn it. I hire it out. And then what I get back isn't it's not the result I wanted, but I don't know how to ask them to fix it. And they don't know so what you have is the blind leading the blind in terms of trying to produce a result in your business. And that almost never works. So
yes.
So I guess there's a lot of lessons in today, but I think the point of this is look, you've got to start to figure out, first of all, there is a place for marketing. As a networker, there's a place for marketing in your business. And two, there's a lot of things to probably assess what you need to learn, what you need to add to your arsenal so that your marketing is more effective.
Yes, that's
Anything else you'd add to that?
I mean, I think we're right on it, and just get started and start pushing that stuff out there and either do it yourself, get in and study it, or find people who can help you.
Yeah, that's it. That's the work. That's the work. Awesome. Chaz, if people want to learn more about Master Networks, where can they go?
Well, you'd go to our lead capturing website called masternetworks.com. I mean, that's the key, right? We're finding ways to help people launch chapters, start chapters, connect with our network, and get more attention to what they offer. So go to masternetworks.com and our wonderful team will be glad to help you.
Yeah. Sorry. The thing about that is, and I just want to make the point because it's right here, the teachable moment is right here. When you have value for people, when you create content, like we're creating content in this episode, and people hear something that resonates with them, they're like, oh, I like what you just said. And at the end of that content, we invite them to go further down the road of what they're interested in. That's just trying to make it easier for you, the listener, to take the next step in a way that would help your business. And so sometimes people get this whole lead capture thing kind of confused in their head. I'm trying to manipulate you or convince you to do something. But when you do content marketing right, you're just giving people the next logical step to take action in something that they see to do for themselves.
Yeah, it's not bait and switch. And by the way, if you don't give them that, you're ripping them off. Right. Because if you believe in your product or service so much that they should do that, then why wouldn't you tell them what the next step is.
Right. Exactly.
So true, man. So true. But I think we just found another episode we got to do.
Okay, good. I like it. Good. So for those of you listening, if this stuff is resonating with you and you're not currently in a chapter, or you want to start your own chapter, then how do you take the next step? Well, you go to masternetworks.com, browse around, but there is a place where you can connect with Chaz and the team and kind of get the next steps going. So Chaz, thanks for a great episode. Look forward to the next one. We'll see you then.
Thanks, sir.